I've been seeing this photo of Emily Ratajkowski all over my Pinterest feed, and it has inspired me to do a brown smoky eye, but I'm gonna see if we can do it as simply and with as few products as possible. Let's give it a go and see how it turns out. All right, first let's start with the base. I'm gonna go for something pretty glowy and bronzy, so I think I'm gonna do the bronzer first and then come in with a skin tint on top. So I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer, and this is in 3 Tan. I love this stuff. I mean, it's super expensive, but it's also like half the size of my head. And I'm just gonna warm it up on my hand a bit. I've talked about this bronzer a lot because I love that it has a really golden undertone, so it looks the most natural on my skin of any bronzers I've tried. And I'm gonna go a little heavy-handed since I'm gonna go back on top with that skin tint anyway. And I'm gonna add some on my cheeks too for where I would naturally bronze in the sun. Nice. Let's just clip this out of the way for now. All right, now I'm taking Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter, and this is in 6 Tan. And I'm gonna put just a bit on my cheekbones, but then we're gonna keep that around because I'm gonna mix it with the skin tint and apply that all over my face. So I've been loving this combination lately of the Flawless Filter and the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. I kind of just take like equal amounts of both and mix them on my hand and then just lightly, sheerly apply it to my face. Because one thing I cannot stand is the feeling of foundation or anything like sitting on top of my skin. I'm using this e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. I love this part for concealer, but this is great for cream blush, cream bronzer, and of course, a concoction like this. This combination is just so glowy and gorgeous, and I feel like even if I wasn't drinking a bunch of water, it makes my skin look so healthy and hydrated. Speaking of which. Okay, now I'm gonna do some concealer, and I have my Kulfi Main Match Concealer in Glossy Guava and the Tower 28 Serum Concealer in Playa. And I've been using this pretty regularly. This is my like a daily go-to, but I've been adding this in just on this like inner corner part for some brightness, and I've been really liking how that works. And I'm just gonna blend that out with the other end of that e.l.f. Duo brush. I didn't normally use brushes underneath my eyes, but I think it's because a lot of the ones I tried were just a little too scratchy. And there's nothing worse than feeling like bristles poking your sensitive under eyes. But this one's very soft. And for this serum concealer, I usually apply it and dab it out the same way I did the Kulfi, but I'm gonna put some on my hand and pick it up with the brush that way, so hopefully I don't get too much of that brightening and I can kind of control it a bit better. Okay, I feel happy about that. Before we move on to the eyes, I'm gonna do fake freckles because otherwise I will forget. And I'm just using the Nabla freckle maker, but I used like a dried out brown eyeliner for a very long time and that worked well too. Nothing boosts my mood like putting on some fake freckles. All right, now for the eyes. Emily's brows are notably always very full, so I'm gonna fluff mine up a bit and then fill them in even more. I feel like my brows have a bit of fullness naturally, but they're just random sparse areas where they just said I'm not showing up for work today. All right, now for my favorite part, let's zoom in for some eyeshadow. First, I'm going to take some of the cream bronzer that I use and apply that just all over my lid. I feel like this is such a great base for a smoky eye, and then you don't have to reach for another product, and it makes it look even more cohesive, which is something I'm always grasping for. Okay, now that that's all laid down, I'm gonna reach for my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, and I'm gonna take this shade, and a little bit of this one if I'm feeling like it. But first we're gonna start with that kind of rusty orange brown. And I'm just gonna place this kind of above my crease. I just wanna have like a little gradient going from medium to darkest on my lids. And then underneath that, I'm gonna bring that medium warm brown. I'm also gonna kind of flick it out a bit just to elongate the eye. Now I'm going to take that first shade that we use and just apply it underneath my eye. Okay, now I'm going to take the tiniest amount of this dark brown right here and just keep it really close to the lash line. I know I'm going to go on top of it with a black liner anyway, but I kind of just need a bit more dimension. Okay, now it is time for the black liner, and I'm using this smoky eyeliner from Maybelline. It's gel based, so it gives you a little bit of play time to kind of smudge it around. So Fingers crossed. I'm gonna start by tightlining my upper and lower waterline. And in this look Emily has, she doesn't have like a sharp inner corner with that black liner, it's just kind of rounded. And I kind of like the softness that it gives this very dramatic look. I did it. I love a good fully tight-lined moment. It looks so intense, and I think it makes brown eyes look even richer and chocolatier. I love it, except I hate removing it. Anyway, now we're gonna go just do like a really thin line at the top of the lashes. Just keep them super close to the root. At least if you have hooded eyes like me. I don't have a ton of lid space to work with before it just becomes like a black hole. So I'm gonna keep that line very fine and smudge it out a bit. I'm using this really flat, dense brush. This is a Colourpop E11. I don't even know what the purpose is for it, but I just use it to smoke out anything that's super close to my lash line. Since it's so dense, it doesn't like blow it out, and it's just really good for controlling where you smudge it. See, I feel like it just added a little something having that little bit of extra black on top versus just in the waterline. I was really holding my breath for a lot of that, but I think that went really well. And now I'm feeling a little confident, so I feel like you could just leave it here. But I'm going to take a little bit more of that dark brown shade and just concentrate it in the outer corners of my upper and lower lash line. I'm just going to go over the lower lash line with that rusty brown again to just tie everything together. Okay, I'm stoked, I'm elated, I'm excited. I really like how this is turning out. Let's zoom back out and do some blush and lips and finish up this look. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this highlighter from Colourpop. It's their churro one. It has like these rosy bronze tones in it, and just a little bit on my nose and on my cupid's bow. I don't think I'm gonna put any on my cheeks because I feel like with the cream blush and the flawless filter we already have there, I think we're looking pretty glowy already. And I feel like the real emphasis is on the eyes anyway, you know? So for blush, I feel in this photo she almost has like a watermelon blush, like it's very red, and I want to have that redness on the cheeks here, like on the apples. But for this area of my cheek, I think I'm going to go with She's Baked from Patrick Ta. The cream shade is a bit more fuchsia, so I feel like that'll look really nice with the bright red that I'm going to be going in with. Okay, next is the star of the cheeks. Just gonna put a little bit here. I stopped going directly onto my cheeks with those blushes a long time ago. I've learned my lesson. Look how bright that is. And I'm even gonna bring it on this bridge just for a more sun-kissed look. This is exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Now I'm gonna set everything with not a setting powder, but this is the Mercier Candleglow Perfecting Powder, and this is in 4. I don't even know if they make this anymore. This is legitimately from 2016, but it still looks so beautiful. My Hourglass powder has just like had me in a chokehold, and I need to use something else. I love how these perfecting powders just blend everything together and make it look so harmonious. It's a blessing for a girl like me who can go overboard with everything. Just a little bit of setting spray. I saw that there was new packaging for the MAC Fix Plus, and I don't know how I feel about it. This is just so iconic to me. I don't do well with change. Oh, and after I do any kind of spray, I like to just use my powder brush to push all my little facial hairs back down because they like to just stand up at attention. Okay, for lips, Emily has this like rosy nude lip situation, and I feel like I don't really have things like that. I have a lot of browns and a lot of reds, but just really pink or rose, no. So I think that's a gap that needs to be addressed. But for right now, I'm just gonna use, I think, a combination. I have a brown liner and a rosy liner. This is the Makeup Forever Limitless Brown. I'm gonna do this on the outer edges of my lips. And then I'm gonna use Nutmeg from NYX, and this has like a hint of rose to it, but it's not too light. I have like a collection of rosy lip liners that I just can't even use because they make it look like I have, I don't know, like concealer lips or something. They're just way too light for my skin tone. This one's nice. Except, my goodness, it is dry. Anyway, I'm gonna lay down a little stain. This is Figfig from rom&nd in their Juicy Lasting Tint. And I'm not gonna let this sit and get glossy like it could. I'm just gonna use it as a stain. It really doesn't take any time at all. I have marks on my hand from last night when I was kind of trialing this look, and they did not wash off, and I've washed my hands multiple times. I think that's good. And now I'm going on top with praline from NYX in their Butter Gloss formula. And this was my, like, the only lip product I wore for years. And they all smell so good. Not a cloying sweetness, but like a little cupcake. And I think this is the only lip product I have that perfectly fits this look. It is definitely a rosy brown. Ooh. Oh, mascara. I was like, something feels a little off. Yeah, no lashes. And let this be a little PSA to replace your eyelash curler pads if you haven't done so, like, within the last year. Because otherwise they get that little mark in them, and I feel like it leads to breakage more frequently in your lashes. Now I'm going to use the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara in Blackest Black. This was also an OG makeup product for me back in 2016. It just does what it needs to do. You know, for me, I just like a little bit of length. I don't really need a ton of volume, and it just makes my lashes pop without weighing them down. Ooh. I've also stopped taking my mascara to the root of my lashes because it just irritates my eyes. So I just barely open my eyes and just keep it on the tips. And it still gives me that length that I want. And she does have mascara on her lower lashes, so we'll do that too. Okay, I can like barely recognize myself. Like this liner, these freckles, I feel so freaking cute. I am so glad I decided to do this. It like seems kind of intimidating to do a smoky eye, but I think we showed that it's not. It's totally approachable. I think you could have used even less shadows than I did and gotten the same look. So I'm excited to pull this out on my next night out. Maybe add a little bit of glitter. I don't know. There's a world of possibilities now. So thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. I had so much fun. And let me know what else you would like to see. Is there another celebrity look I should try? Definitely let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.